Okay, we're back here today with the Tahoe 234. It's the end of the season. The last time I was out, I noticed something kind of disturbing about the boat in that the voltage from the alternator was not steady and seemed to be dipping down around the 12 region. Generally, you want to see your voltage here to be somewhere kind of maybe like 13.8 is optimal. This looks actually okay right now, but the last time I was out, the reading was down at 12 and even down here in the 11 mark while I was running. So, you know, this is the original alternator. This boat is a 2007. We have not ever changed the alternator on it, so we're going to go ahead and change the alternator and just going to walk you through that process. The tools that we're going to need for this project are a 1/2-inch socket wrench, a 10mm socket wrench, and a 9/16 wrench there, box end wrench there, and of course the alternator here, and a something that we can, a torque wrench that we can use to give us 30 foot-pounds of torque. Here is the here's the part number for the alternator. The engine on my Tahoe 234 is a Mercruiser 350 MAG MPI. It's a 5.7 liter engine there, and here is the alternator. So the first thing that we're going to do is disconnect this connection right here, as well as this connection here and this connection here. You can see that I'm on the side of it now, and remember the polarity of your connections. It looks like my positive is on top. Let's go ahead and disconnect both batteries. There we are on off. Okay, now both of our connections, both our top connector and then the positive and the the positive and the negative are both disconnected. Just make sure you hang on to those nuts so that they don't go down into the belly of the beast. Okay, and the next thing that we're going to have to do is remove this bolt. It's a 1/2 inch, and then this bolt is a 1/2 inch with a 9/16 on the back, and again this one is a 1/2 inch, and that one down there on the other side of it is a 9/16 on the back. This might be a good time to take a picture of your belt routing should something go incredibly wrong. Okay, so I got the first one out there, and I actually ended up using a Flexi Head 14 on the back side of this to help me get it. And so it's kind of a hodgepodge of standard and metric making this thing work, and part of that's just my lack of appropriate tools, I guess. So now we'll do the same thing on this one. I'll put the 14 on the back and then 1/2 inch to the front. Okay, so the back is off of this one now. The front one it feels a little bit bound up, and it could just be the pressure of the belt. So we're going to start working on this one right here. Okay, so the top one's out. You can see that the alternator is slid over a little bit, and so that thing's under a little bit of tension there. We may try to figure out how to relieve some of that, or we may just try to go on without it. Okay, so I've decided to go ahead and loosen this up a little bit. So with the 16mm here and an 8mm here, we can loosen that nut. Well, we can. Loosen that, and then that actually dropped down. That dropped down some. Loosen that on down. So that's going to give us some room for this. Alright. So now that belt will just slip And with the belt off of there, we can just finish unscrewing this one from the actual alternator itself that's actually threaded in there. So once we get that done, the alternator should come out. Okay, and there's our alternator, and you'll notice here that they're on this bottom one. Let's see here, the one that was, where did this go? The one that was right down here, there's a spacer right here, but you want to make sure that stays on the same one there. And I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the wind is really kicking up. I'm sorry about that if it's in your ear. So here's our new alternator. I've got that same bolt. We're just going to start in the reverse order, and I'm going to get that bottom one knocked out. Let's see. And that's not threaded like I thought it was. Oh well. Okay. Got the front one there, or the bottom one. And we'll put that one in about halfway, and then we'll do our back bottom one. This is what I'm looking at here, so we'll just get that one, and then we'll do we'll tighten everything up and then connect our electronicals. Okay, so here we are with everything kind of loosely attached here. The belt here, you can tell, is really loose. I haven't tightened that tensioner back up yet. And, you know, I wanted to put out there, I ended up having a little bit of a difficulty getting mine to go back on this. So if that happens, just remove this belt right here. Be very careful, put it around this, and then see how that's smooth on that edge there. This thing will just slide right over that. So I think the next thing to do would be maybe to measure this thing, make sure that it is square. So right here, got just a piece of PVC. I don't know if this is orthodox or not, but what I'm gonna do is kind of line that thing up on the flywheel. Let's see here, like that right there, and just see how parallel it is. It doesn't matter if it's touching, but if the alternator pulley right there is parallel, it's going to be fine. That looks pretty good. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and tighten this thing down to 30 foot-pounds, and then we will hook up those electrical connections. Okay, so we're set to 30 foot-pounds, and now we're going to get these brackets down here. First one, and the second one needs to be held in the back with the 9/16.
Okay guys, so we're all tightened up here. You know, I think on this one here, you know, that 30 foot-pounds felt like a little much, so that I may be incorrect on that. Just you know, do it until it gets tight. These two right here, I took the liberty to go ahead and connecting our electrical connections, and I'm just going to tighten those up to where they're snug. Nothing crazy on that, and then I'll do the that top clip, and we'll be done.
Okay, I almost forgot about our belt tensioner. You can see, really, you want the limit of this to be about 90 degrees to be the most. It's excessively loose because obviously we loosened it. So let's go ahead. This is already should be already loose. So all we've got to do is tighten the adjustment screw. Okay. Let's crank her up, and oh wait, no. One more thing. This needs to be plugged in. Okay. Let's remove our light and try this out. Okay guys, take a look at this this voltmeter now. If you disengage your drive and you crank this thing up to about 1500 RPMs, our volts are getting up there where they need to be. We're up there around 13.8. So, you know, I feel a lot better about this. I'm gonna go take it for a spin, and then we're gonna button her up for the winter and call it a day. So, if you found the video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing. We've got a lot of other cool stuff on the channel. Basically, with the focus of just trying to save you a few bucks. There's boat stuff, ATV stuff, home repair, that kind of thing. So, if that's up your alley, consider subscribing, and hope to see you down the road. Take care.